Greg Ruff and Mark Foster, the women's soccer coach here at Trevecca. And Mark, I know that right now your team is on the way back from Radnor Lake. And for those who aren't from around here, Radnor Lake is one of the pristine places in the Nashville area to go. It's kind of an escape, kind of our Walden's Pond, and the ladies are there walking and hiking and getting some fitness in there. But how are you, that really plays into this question, how are you using the preseason to prepare for the season this year?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Radnor Lake. I told the girls that was team bond, and I don't think they realise how far a walk that is and how big a hike. So that's
There's
probably
some hills.
That's probably the hardest fitness thing they'll have done this week. So
Yeah.
no, we decided at the start of the week to just break it down into 1 week, and we said we want to get our playing rhythm, we want to get our fitness, but most important of all, we want to get the freshmen embedded into the group and develop the team spirit. So this week and a half or so, we've got those 3 goals, and that's what we're concentrating on.
This year, the GMAC champion will get an automatic bid to the postseason NCAA-wise. How has that played into your planning, the excitement, or just the different feel maybe you have this year?
Of course, that would be a dream. But we have to first and foremost be respectful of how tough the conference is. You know, when you think, oh, we could go to nationals, that's great, but then you realise, well, Ursuline are going to be as good as ever. Cedarville will be better than they were last year, and Kentucky Wesleyan and the teams in West Virginia have improved, and so it's great that there's that card sort of at the end, but there's a lot of tough games between now and then, and a lot of opponents to be respected, and whoever wins the conference this year, I think this is the strongest year ever for the conference, and whoever wins it really does deserve a shot to go at nationals. I think ourselves and Ursuline played in the final last year. It was a great final. Unfortunately, we lost and Ursuline won, and I felt Ursuline deserved an at-large bid to go to nationals last year and didn't get it, and they'll feel hard done by. And so I think it's time the conference were given the respect they deserve, and the GMAC's going to have a team playing at nationals next year, and hopefully it's Trevecca.
Absolutely. Well, you talk about all those teams. It was announced this summer that there's going to be more teams on that GMAC list coming up. Just talk about that from your perspective and what that additional teams will bring to women's soccer.
You know, I looked at it and I got sort of overwhelmed. And I was like, well, how are we going to afford to do this? How are we going to have kids in class? And there's just so much. And there's that initial buzz. But then you think about it and go, right, it's 2 years before they're all in. There's a lot can change in 2 years, and so for me and the girls, we've decided to focus on this year, win the GMAC this year, try and retain it the following year. The conference are working hard behind the scenes to add more teams, especially in the south, and so for me, there's going to be so much change in the next couple of years that I think it's better for us to just concentrate on here and now, and we'll see what brings. The conference is certainly growing, and the conference has a bright future, and I'm excited about our part in it. But it's a really hard question to answer what it's going to look like in 2-3 years. So
what does your team have to do this year to get where you want? You say you want to win the conference. What do you got to do? What are the maximum effort points?
I think home games are going to be massive for us. This conference is a lot of travelling for us. We do more travelling in the conference than anyone. So we really have to maximise our home games because there's so much travelling. It's going to be hard to win all those away games and some great opponents, as I said earlier. So for me, the key is to pick up home wins. They're going to be key to giving us a good shot at a good place in the playoffs that will hopefully allow us to peak at the end of the season and win the conference tournament. But like, you got to look at it and say we got to do the things that we control, and working hard this summer and working hard in pre-season's giving us that launch pad. And like everything in sports, we'll need a bit of luck with injuries and so on along the way, but and referees calls and all that goes into it,
Tell me about your returning players and maybe how you feel about the newcomers too.
Well, last year was a big year turnover for us. We brought in 14 freshmen last year. 10 of those girls are coming back that we're delighted with. And so we didn't want to bring in as big a class this year. We want things to settle down a bit. And so we've only brought in 7. So, but they're a great group of girls that will really I think complement what we already have. And it's we had a lot of freshmen start last year, so there's going to be competition for places. It'll be interesting to see can this year's freshman class push for starting roles the way last year's did and keep everybody on their toes. So
absolutely. Tell me about something that Mark Foster has learned since last year that's going to help you this year.
I feel like you're learning every day, especially working with the girls. It's, you think you've cracked it and you realize you're a long way to go. For me, I think we're going to have to, as a coach, I need to give the girls several different game plans. If we're going to be a success in the conference, kind of come back to your last question, we're going to have several ways of playing. There's going to be times where we're playing in August on a big pitch at Trevecca, and it's going to be hot and humid. And then there's going to be times where we're playing, in winter conditions up in West Virginia, and our style of play is going to have to be different. So, as a coach, and Greg, I've got great support with Calvin Lacuna and Kate Hughes. As a coaching staff, we are trying to develop, many different styles of play, many different formations that will allow us to give the girls more confidence over the course of the season, and so it's easy saying that. It's not so easy going out and putting it into practice, and so that will be the challenge and one we're looking forward to.
He's also a new dad, by the way. He became a dad. He and Jesse welcomed their first child into the world this summer. He's doing quite well, actually. Not bad for an old man.
The baby's doing well, and I think that's more to do with mum at home than it is anything I'm doing. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me, but this is the tiredest preseason I've ever had, let me tell you.
He's Mark Foster. I'm Greg Ruff. Thank you for watching here on the GMAC Preview. Welcome in. Greg Ruff along with you, and Abbie Alosi joins us here for women's soccer on this GMAC Preview. Just, I guess the first question would be, how excited are you to actually be here for preseason? I know the summer gets long, and you guys are back. You get to see your teammates and everything.
Yeah, man, it's been so exciting. I love it. All the freshmen are just already, I don't know, part of the family now, and, it's just an exciting time of the year, even though it's really hard.
Well, it is. I know you guys just went to Radnor Lake, and I know you were going for bonding, but Coach said, I think they're going to find out it's a little harder than they thought.
Oh, yeah. Your legs are already sore, and then you get halfway, and you're like, man, I can't do anymore, but you have to go all the way because your car's on the other side of the lake.
It is beautiful. It's one of those great places. Of course, you're from the Chattanooga area. You should be used to hill climbs over there. Talk a little bit about the fact that this year you guys know going into the season that if you win the conference, you go to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, man, that's really what we're working for. That's our goal in sight, and we know it every single day. We come in training, and we're like, this is our goal. We have to win because we're going to go to nationals.
What do you feel like are the maximums that you guys need to reach as a team? What are the keys you see going into the season to be able to reach that goal?
Well, we definitely lost a lot of starters last year, so we definitely need to step up and fill those roles. And each and every person has a different role on the team, so they need to find their place on the team and really step up and reach their maximum on that.
One of the people that you lost is your sister, but she's graduated and moved on, so she's one of those that you have to replace, and Ponto was also good. But you've gotten to know the new players now. You've had a couple of days and you got to know them before that a little bit because you knew who was coming in. But talk about how you feel this team is developing just over the first couple of days of training.
Yeah, well, we had 14 freshmen last year, so that was crazy. But now they have a year of experience, and they're already so much better. But the freshmen this year have just come in, and they've really just been amazing. They, on and off the field, they're already just interacting and feeling that role that they need to be on the team.
You're now one of the upperclassmen.
Yeah.
And so you're one of the leaders. You're back. What has Abbie Alosi learned since last year that you think is going to help you going into this your junior year?
I've learned that this is definitely a team sport, that you need every single person on the field and on the bench in order to win a game. You just need everyone there 100%. And I can't be the only person on the field to be playing. I have to be a part of the team not as an individual.
All right. Give me one person that you look forward to watching and playing with this year that you're kind of looking for. It doesn't even have to be necessarily on the field, on the pitch, but who are you looking forward to being around this year on the team?
I don't know. It's hard to choose just one, because they're all such great girls, and I love them all, and I love being around them all the time.
Man, she's going to go into politics, I do believe. Abbie Alosi, and that's your GMAC preview.